Hello, everyone. Sorry I had to reschedule. I literally had to wait for my heart rate to go down last night, and it took a while. And I was late doing other stuff starting today. Just some other personal stuff. Either way, from that, how y'all doing? Words cannot describe just how fast my heart was racing. Just having seen the end of the movie and then going onward just to have to go home, like, with especially that last hanger on the end. Like, I don't know if my heart raced that fast due to excitement before or not, but either way. Oh, we have deck on here. Anyway. Yeah, hello, Evan. How you doing? Cause I like to think I could talk about the movie without spoiling it, but I don't think I can. Though, thankfully, I don't remember absolutely everything. Yeah, doing good. I mean, yeah, you just brought me book, so I hope so. But like I said, because I wanted to talk about at least about the movie and whatever else comes to mind, but like for a short stream. But you couldn't stop talking about it when you got home. Yeah. Yeah, it's like best I was able to tell Riven was like, so baby boy made it. So he did it. He was able to do it. And the ending, like, left it off, so I was like, sequel when? I know it's probably not gonna be for like another year, maybe. Then again, it, Killer Killers released earlier this year, and now we got Badlands, so yeah, early next year we might get a sequel to Badlands, or a sequel to... They say there's a sequel to Prey coming up, maybe. But we might also get a sequel to Killer Killers 2. Either way, I want to see a sequel to all three. I really do. I might be making a new character. What kind of character? I know probably a startle, but what kind? Just the creativity of different characters. Just... It's something that I never failed to be entertained by. Because it's like you can make all kinds of people. I mean, how'd you know? That was just a guess. Don't worry, I've been having other idea for Yautja characters too, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to get better at drawing their little faces if I'm gonna add more. They have two forms. I'm sorry, just like my brain just went to like just two possibilities for design. Because like Telos and Emma have two different forms. And, well, they technically have a third, but that's just a Muth. Spellcaster and a swordsman. Ooh! Spell sword! Spell sword. Spell sword is best sword. Let alone best spell. Especially because, like, just D&D and Skyrim, the possibilities with a spell sword, it's like, you can't go wrong. You can never go wrong. Because, like, Tento's a spell sword, and it's like, he has all sorts of possibilities. Also, I keep looking out my window because I'm wondering, and I don't know if you'll hear it. There's some kind of banging noise going outside. It sounds like hunters may be out. I don't know. I think deer season might be a thing for our people now, like where we are. Like, it might be for my state. I'm not sure. I think different states have different days for deer season. Or hunting season. They can't use the other's powers. Also, it's locked. I see. As funny as it sounds, I kind of wanted to make a startle or something like that based off of Magic Tech armor, since Booster has a toy of one in this tower. Do it. I think people are shooting across the road. That's a dirt farm. Why would they be out there? What, shooting at dirt? Look, my guess is that it's deer season. Yeah, Jeebus. We have idiots who live around where I live. Is it deer season? People have done it before, yeah. Is it deer season where I'm at? Yes it is. It started on October 18th. And it'll be going till January 11th for most counties. Okay. I know about the archery part, yeah. That's when, yeah. It was the loud, Doria! I got scared by my notification sound. I've seen kids shoot in the dirt earlier this year. That doesn't surprise me. I'm just disappointed. Again, it's a dirt farm. Why go down there? Dang it. Bess, thank you. Oh yeah, remember Sandy? I remember Sandy. And I know, like, it's probably funny to say it's a dirt farm, they shouldn't go down there. It's because they've recently started digging up over there again. Whoever owns it has started sending dump trucks and everything over there again, so I worry about their safety, but in the end of the day, I mean, if they want to go into the hole, then go into the hole. Just, I'm not gonna be surprised if I see people out there trying to help them out. Like, get out of the hole. Here he is. Let me see this. Let me see. Oh my goodness! I love that heterochromia. Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess Smithy's way too grumpy to be Santa. I love the little holly belt and the fact that it matches her Hollyhock's dress. I love that so much. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. It's like, and it's perfect because yeah, Christmas is coming up, but it's still Thanksgiving, and it's like he's just preparing. He's preparing for everything. But I love his little smile. His smile's precious. Remember when they swam out there after all that rain? You mean that hurricane? That wasn't just rain. That was a hurricane. Though I will admit, earlier in the year, it really was just a lot of rain. Everybody made jokes about how far, like, or how much the rain, like, earlier this year was, like, just how often it rained. And it was just like one time the temperature was really high and then it just dropped like into like the 60s or 80s, and everybody was joking like it was like they saw a state patrol officer. It's like that's how quickly it dropped. And I was like, yeah, I mean it got cold one day. It got pretty cold. Yeah, oh yeah, Points and Santa have a design now. Do they? I just see... Are they both twins, or is the other one not showing up? I only see one. Yeah. Oh, so they both have the same design. Oh, they're identical. It's just I saw the big black void. I was like, is my computer hiding something from me? But it's so cute. Like a little angel topper. I suppose like how the wings have like the two different streaks of color. It just the big void spooked me. I was like, is something missing? Is my screen being funny? Because for some reason my screen has moments where like I'll go looking at something and then I see, why is that an inverted color? Then I actually click on it and it's like, oh, there it is. There's the color. Cause I've done it like looking on I think on Xenopedia when just trying to brush up on my lore and see what what all lore I might have missed, because I love the old Predator comics, I do. And I'll see the thumbnail to like a certain character or something, and I'm like, why is that inverted? I know it's just like my computer settings, but it's not too bad. They also have Hollycog's eyes. I saw that, I was just like, no, they're eyes. Like, when I just realized something, what would that be? Actually, I do keep looking on Xenopedia to see if anybody's updated it to like ever since the movie came out yesterday. I don't think they have yet. I know after a few days they will. It's that, or it's like when it comes out on DVD. Yeah, Telos is uncle to Poins and Sieta. I wonder how. Wait, is it because of Hollycog? But like, yeah, I don't know if how much they'll actually update it. Hollycog is Rune's sister. Yeah, and because eventually Telos will marry Rune, and then they'll be uncle to them by default. And that's the thing, is like, you know, Telos is going to run around yelling that when they get married. I am an uncle! He's a goober, but that's the thing. Family is something Telos is proud of, especially because they already have so many little moth kids. And then Rune keeps the little pet, pyre butterflies. And I was like, now I have a bunch of butterfly kids. And then Poins and Sienna, and he's like, I'm an uncle! Oh boy. And I forget, every time I sneeze, I'm gonna be sniffing for like 30 minutes after. But either way, that's what makes the little wreath in his house even more special. It is, yeah! It's just, because especially it was like, you know, other Zatars come to visit his house and he's just like, my nieces gave me this. Just like, look upon it with great pride. Because I'm proud of it. But that's the thing, without the Zatars or Maigana, they would indeed be proud of it. They really would. Because, like, I like to think of a Zatar's proud of something, and it's like, I like to think there's pride and power for them, and then there's pride in a certain item. And depending on why you're proud of that item, they are proud of it as well. And because it's a gift from family, they're like, yes, we're proud of this as well. To me, that'd be the cutest thing. Like, just that unanimous, like, you know, you're proud of it, so are we. Because it means something. Sentimental value. Oh yeah, that reminds me with sentimental value. Yeah, funny thing I want to say about the movie, at least with Deck, the Deck and the plot of the movie. I know I will probably forever say spoilers for it until, like, people have gone to see it more. But, yeah, Deck had to learn that animals have emotions too. Because, like, it was his first time, but even Thea's like, hey man, look, you gotta have sensitivity for the world around you. And he's just like, no. Why would I be sensitive over a bunch of, like, creatures that I'm supposed to be hunting? And then Thea says, like, if you show actual sensitivity towards the environment, then you could probably make it work to your benefit. And he remembers this knowledge later down the line, and it's very, very epic. It's so cool. But it's just the fact of, like, he's learning everything from the ground up, like, and then there's so many things of, like, well, how does the world work? Because he's on a place literally called the Death Planet. Genna is literally called the Death Planet. And and he's having to take all this knowledge that's a complete combative parallel to what he was taught growing up, and he has to rebuild his way of thinking from the ground up. He doesn't forget what he was taught growing up, but instead he literally adapts it, in a sense. It also works because Sandy, being the brother-in-law, tells how many siblings do I have? I mean, Telos has... Emma's technically a sister. But they have Rillis together because of Emma. They have Rillis. And when Rillis does marry Rose Stern, eventually, I feel like out of all my characters, those two are gonna take the longest to get married for whatever reason, I don't know. But they're gonna take the longest. But it'll have Rose Stern, already has Amma. And then, of course, there's all the siblings from Rune. So he'll admit, he has a lot. And then there's any spouses they have. Because, fun fact, Myra would technically be a sister-in-law to Telos because of Presley. I need to draw Presley so y'all can understand how kind of funny it is that, one, he's probably, to me, one of the funnier siblings to think about in terms of situations, let alone bonding with his own kin, because he's such a loner. He's such an introvert. And I don't mean, like, stay in your room introvert, no. He's just like, I'm going to the woods. And they're just like, I mean, you'll be back by dinner, right? And he's like, yep. Yeah, and, this is your brother-in-law holding out Zip. And it's just, that's one thing's for sure, like, with Telos is like, you join the family. He's just like, it's literally that joke of, like, if anything happens, like, you know, to the puppy, the person's holding to, like, I'll personally destroy everyone and everything in this room, and then myself. Just understanding, I will go on a path of destruction if something happens to this precious being. And you can't stop me. But it's just that fact alone, like, Telos would have a very big, son and boost a family just by marriage. And that'd be something he's very proud of. It's just the fact of it's eventually gonna get to where he looks at Rilla's like saying, are you gonna pop the question to Rostern already? Like, or do I have to drop a hint? Drop a hint to that poor bean. Either way, though. But, again, Hecate. Should I make Sani gay? I have only run request for whatever significant other you give Sani. Please either make it like someone based on the summer or Jack Frost. One of those either two, I would say would be perfect. Like, a holiday icon being with another holiday icon, to me would be super cute. Cause I haven't seen the movie of, The Guardians. Like, I think y'all know the movie I'm talking about, where it's like the different people who are, they're the icons, the people of the different holidays, like Sandman, the Easter Bunny. To me would be cute is if it was like, cause Sandy's like Weapon World Santa. What if with, like, in terms of significant others, it was another individual who was like another bringer of another holiday? What about a Halloween-based OC? That would work a lot in my opinion. Because, again, like the Guardians, and because then you have Guardians that represent different things, in terms of the holidays, and it would be just like that bringing together between them. I realized if it was a Halloween-based OC that Sani was with, Nightmare Before Christmas. Wait, I'm a spider startled. That works. That works very well. Yeah, never seen it. Yeah, I've not seen the movie either. Yeah, what if I made them kiss? I've seen that joke 2 times. What if they kissed, or what if we kissed and it's like inter-situation here? It's like, I mean, if it happens. Also leveling up forms. Good luck with that. There was, I think, a good reason why there were no form level ups in, KH3. I mean, I haven't played 2, so I don't miss them. But I know there were probably some people who did. But it's still that fact alone, though. It's still that fact alone. It's just like, in the end, it's like, if Sadie gets in a happy relationship, that's what matters. Because, like, the ideas are there. It's fun to make characters kiss. It's tedious, but worth it. Reading those off back to back, it's like, yeah, welcome to making OCs. Let alone having characters in franchises you ship. Because you could take two characters that shouldn't be together and boom. I mean, there's characters that, like, they say is, like, shouldn't be together when really it's like, there's not an issue with it. It's just like they're polar opposites, and that's one of the cutest dynamics. Either way. I mean, because Rune and Telos, despite their aesthetics being different, they are actually very, very, similar in some sense. It's just that Rune's an alchemical genius. She's very, very smart. Meanwhile, Telos is base level intelligence. But he knows a lot about farming. Hi, Brader, how you doing? Today we're jibber-jawing about random things, but I'm also jibber-jawing here and there if I remember any details for Badlands I feel that are worth sharing. Again, spoiler warning, it's probably something I'm gonna say before every time I mention it. But I legit had to wait for my heart rate to go down last night because I'm like, I can't stream, I'm too excited, I'm jittery, I have a high heart rate and I don't even need my inhaler. Like, I loved that movie so much, and the ending, I'm like, sequel when? When will it be? Yeah, I keep forgetting I redo that stupid kissing and Resident Evil. I need to draw more memes with my characters. I really do. Of course, also, like, I mean, I really shouldn't eat ramen, but doing good. Have you already eaten ramen today? That's the only thing my brain can add up to, and like, I shouldn't eat this, but... Like, cause I ate mac and cheese, like, you should have about I ate mac and cheese, like, 3 days in a row. Because my mom bought an 18-pack box from Sam's for me, and I was like, oh. I knew they sold in bulk, but I didn't think they had 18 packs of Easy Mac. Before I made him get Vincent Valentine from Hiva, choosing Yuzuki over Erebus. Yeah. Yeah, the whole Vincent Valentine. But I need to draw more memes. I found a funny picture to use as like as a meme for characters. It was someone laying on a couch like they're getting therapy, but the therapist with the clipboard's a cat. That's just loafing in another chair. I was so tempted to draw that as Talos with his moths. Or it could have been Rune with their butterflies. I was very, very tempted, but I haven't done it yet. I don't know why. I've eaten ramen, the pre-made kind. The salt is not agreeing with me. Yeah. I prefer, like, handmade ramen because it's so much better. And you can actually control the sodium content. Yeah, Ink's just fun. Thankfully in the 2.5 remix, they add the Mushroom 13, just waiting on Mushroom 5 to level up Valor and then Limit Form. What's Mushroom 5? I don't remember. Yeah, for legal reasons, that is a joke. You know, eggs could be just cringe. Just, you know, eggy cringe, right? Because I know that's Telos in some cases. Because, like, that's one thing I've been thinking over for fact while trying to, you know, eggy cringe. It sounds like a food. The one that's asleep and constantly healing. Wait, no, that's not Ventus's mushroom. Which member of the Organization 13 is constantly asleep and healing? Wait, which one? Now I gotta look. Who's number 5? Who's number 5 of Organization 13? Who's number 5? I go onto the to the wiki and it's like wow, Rock Society to the large scene. Looking very inverted. Oh, and Marluxia looking very inverted in color right now. Where? No clue. Number 5. Lexius is number 5. Lexius is number 5. That's who. Be gone, bot. I will make deck bigger in protest of bot. Scare him away. Yeah, smite and Celestial ain't here to like. Oh yeah, unless I could, probably. Hang on. Trying to see, how could I don't know how. Like, I'm trying to look and see. I will strike you down with my fist. Yep, pretty much. I made deck bigger in protest. Man. There's just so many things I start wondering, especially for like if I ever do happen to reach affiliate, but then I remember, no, they don't stop. They don't. That's something I remember now. They don't. And I just find that irritating. It grinds my gears. Either way. Let's go on to something better. What number is Vexen? Because his mushroom counterpart makes clones. I think he's number 4? Let me fact check. It's been a while. In order. That's Vexen. Yeah, I was right. It is Vexen. It's kind of why people grab Cerebot, but we talking KH? we're talking Kingdom Hearts here. There because of Riven. He's playing KH2. He's trying to remember which one it is. I think I might need to grab Sari. But I don't know how exactly to make it all work. I say that in self-doubt. I know I probably could, but I have self-doubt. Either way. But it's still this that case in point. It's like KH 2.5 remix. Yeah, it's like, cause I bought it, cause I meant to play it at one point and then I didn't. I didn't do it. Okay, let me shrink deck back down for now. But, I mean, tutorials exist. Yeah, it's just I doubt myself even if there's a 10 tutorial. But that's because, like, I haven't been working with a proper computer that isn't a Chromebook for that long. Like, when I had a proper computer, it was more so when I would just play on the one, that my dad and my brother had. Because they always kept theirs in a living room. And then I'm like, well, now I have my own. And I can just keep it in my room. Where I have proper carpet and stuff to, like, make the walls not echo. It's my favorite game and perfect in my opinion. I mean... if I remember right, there's people who said, like, it's flaws, but that it's still great. I think people mostly beefed about the long intro with Roxas. And just, like, the skateboarding minigame, I think. Yeah. It just turned out itchy. Damn it. It just turned itchy. As the quickest form of like, hey, you're in low health. Can you hear it by the sound of the loud beep? And the pulsing red in the corner of the screen? Right, that's essentially what anti-form memes means from what I remember playing KH3. It's my favorite game. And I'm evil. It's like, and I'm evil. This actually makes me think, just like would be neat to do, especially as a writing thing, is like in terms of things like your like characters, like write out with your characters, like say they were like they had different hobbies and whatnot, and it's and like say they were like a bookworm, and it was like, okay, well, what's their favorite book or their favorite genre of book? If they play games, what's their favorite game? Because I like to imagine, especially with Mario OCs, people could get very creative with what's clearly meant to be like Kingdom Hearts, could be renamed to something else to fit the world, but it's still that fact of like, oh, they like critical mode pain, don't they? Let alone convoluted game lore. It's a random chance in 2. You gain something called dark points. Every time you use a form, it resets once triggered, though. Yeah, this one more goes to show I have not played 2. My brain just went, what? Like, what is that? I don't understand. But either way, yeah, speaking of character interests, there is one thing I've especially been lingering on, but I don't know if I want to add it to Telos' profile, because again, he's shy in terms of like getting attention from others, like having a crowd. He doesn't like crowds. But I thought about, since he actually is very interested in heavy metal, he loves heavy metal and everything, is if he would have ever started taking up an interest in playing the guitar. Yeah, Another Crusade is on sale, by the way. Is it? I might have to see. How long is it going to be on sale? Let me see. Go to my wish list. War of the Worlds. I am waiting. Oh! It's on sale for like $4. Easy. Ends November 22nd. When's... Me looking at my schedule for when I get paid. I get paid before then. I just need a reminder to buy it. Yeah, I definitely just need another reminder. I need a reminder to buy it. I thought of also getting Potion Craft, maybe. But I'm not sure yet. World of Final Fantasy is one of the games I'm definitely gonna wait to, till it goes on sale. Either way. But yeah, I've been thinking about giving Telos an interest in playing the guitar. But like, I didn't say he was good at it. So, I mean, he might be decent for all I know. Of course, it's probably hard to tell if you're good or not if you don't have a teacher. Jump scared again. How loud is your notification sound? Because I remember I used to have the Solid Snake or Metal Gear, you know, exclamation point spotted sound as mine. And eventually I was like, you know what? As funny as it is, it's getting annoying. And I had it as that notification for like a couple years. And it came in clutch in D&D. I keep getting spooked by a lot of Doria. that actually would especially add to the fear. But yeah, we were playing D&D once, and one of my characters, we were doing stuff safe from the Rito rush for now. Hi, Miss D. Are you doing okay? I know the Rito rush is probably picked up bad, since Thanksgiving is just around the corner. I can only imagine. But that just keeps reminding me of like one of the things that's been going on with my supermarket lately. But that also just goes in tandem with, we've already made our Thanksgiving schedule. This is literally my notification sound. Prepare myself for it. Oh, Ganondorf! I see! Wacky. I'll be amazed if there's any food left in the grocery area. Ah, Thanksgiving. The week I'm going on a cruise. That just sounds delightful and away from all, like, the shopping drama. But I'm scared of getting on a big boat for some reason. I legit have a fear of going on cruises. But that's the thing. This is gonna sound funny, but at the same time, it's not surprising, I know, because my local store, I had to buy half gallons of milk because, we've been out of gallons of milk for, like, a couple of weeks now. And it's just like, what are y'all doing to use up all the milk? What kind of craze is going on? Because Thanksgiving's not for weeks away. That milk's not gonna last till Thanksgiving. It's like, I don't like being on boats. I mean, I think it's the ocean you may be frightened of, or the Titanic. I mean, if that ship's called the Titanic, don't you go on it. That's just a fact. I think for me, it's more so just being so far from home, and just who knows what could happen at home. Because, like, I know people say, shouldn't you be more worried about what happens to you while you're away from home? It's like, no. It's just what I'm afraid I might come back to. Like, what if everything is not safe and sound at home? You know, what if something happens? I'm not there. What do I do? Maybe for baking, some recipes require milk. Yeah, but it's like, it's still the fact of the time where the most baking would happen is still weeks away. We're only in, what, the second week? Yeah, we're literally in just, what's the first full week of November. Thanksgiving isn't, down to, for another 3 weeks, technically. There's 2 weeks in between now and Thanksgiving. So it's like, my brain's just not wanting to math, like, what are they doing, freezing it? Because that's already not a smart idea. Gov shutdown has really taken its toll. Probably, it's still that fact, though. Just like, what's all the milk being needed for? That's just, there are some things I just can't wrap my head around, even if, like, it's explained to me, or even if I try. Milk doesn't go bad that fast. Guess we're stocking up for then. Alright, the shutdown. Yeah, but it's just that fact still. It's like, even then, it's still that fact. Because it's like, people are gonna, I know, need milk and stuff for Thanksgiving, because I know a lot of Thanksgiving, recipes, especially for, my folks. Like, they have a lot of milk-based recipes. Yeah, or they're buying stuff to donate it. That would make more sense. They're trying to donate to the less fortunate in preparation for Thanksgiving. In which, I hope that's the reason, and not people being greedy. Because I remember when people just, like, hoarded a lot of stuff for themselves, and I was like, really? Really, guys? We already have our Thanksgiving schedule, for what we're doing leading up to that day at work. And my coworker, she made it on the cutest little autumn-themed paper. Like, it's so pretty, it's so cute. Like, the color palette, I love it. And, and it says, like, different things on it, because, again, we work in a hospital cafeteria. So it's like, oh, we're, say, closed for all meals to the public this day, or only breakfast that day, or only dinners, which is, like, grab-and-goes for employees. And it's a fact of, like, you know, not everybody's gonna look at it, right? And even she was like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I'm trying to make sense of people they bought out TP during COVID. That stuff could have become a new currency during COVID. And yet, I just stayed holed up in my room during that time. Because I had just graduated from high school when that happened. And I know people would say, really? It's like, yeah, that's a time we don't really think back to. Yeah, iCloud, it's the Edge Prince. He's not the Edge Lord. Vincent took that title. Cloud is his apprentice. I will forever stand by that. Cloud is Vincent Valentine's apprentice in Edge. I'm always imagining TP selling for thousands on the black market during pandemic. But what's worse is, you know, that's probably true. It probably did. But either way, it's still that case in point fact. It's still that fact alone where it's like, it's, unless they're donating it, it's not gonna make sense of why buy out so much foodstuffs until then. I mean, I think we've already served way too much turkey at work to where when it came to Thanksgiving plans of like when we actually serve Thanksgiving food to the employees, we were like, shit, are we gonna have any turkey? Because the poor burbs got the burb flu, and it was like, no, not the bird. For me, I was like, not the birds, they're sick. And then everyone was like, yeah, people are gonna be livid. I was like, no, the birds. The birds, they have the flu. They need to get better. Because I know those birds cannot feel great. Yeah, I'm laughing at my character's face. One is smug, the other is judging me. I like to think my characters judge me here and there, for it's like, really? Because like I'm tempted to write them in funny stuff all the time, especially because like, just Tellus is a goober. Just he's a goober who can find a tuber, and I like to think in the Star Warrior program AU, he always gives some of his tubers to Swede and make a tuber pie. Like, I hate how the mental image of TP being sold to the black market in Weapon World, which makes no sense, because why would they need to use it? My guess in terms of paint, because I know they do paint stuff, is maybe, like, makeup or paint application. Because I can see they use makeup, stuff made from paint, like temporary paint, or polish. That's the best reason I have. They need it for pranking. Now just imagining a bunch of weapon kids loaded up, and they're like, okay, so whose house we hitting? Where we going? and you know they always pick that one codger. But that would essentially be the two biggest reasons: pranking and like makeup, you know, or paint application. Because I can see some are like Yuridovich, and they really fret over their appearance. The smallest things, and they're just like trying to apply it, like fix it, fix a chip, fix a scrape in the paint, probably. And to me, that makes no sense. The Gull Wings, don't say her name. Don't say her name. And Riku's gonna say it anyway. Been working on Donovan's 3D model, low poly but rigged. Gotta get the textures on. But I mean, like, to me, it's like the fact that you just gotta get the textures and everything. Yeah, low poly is a nice model style. It is. It's refreshing. But the fact that you just gotta get the textures and everything is like, it's close. It's so close. It's just like, it's like that satisfaction of just hearing it's almost there. It's like, yes. Yes, we're getting there. Because I'd like to try doing stuff on Blender, but I'm worried about either not having the time, or just that case in point of like, I'm gonna try and then get bored of it. But I think if I kept at it long enough, or forced myself to at least, I'd get something done. Because otherwise, I don't really know, like, if I'd be able to do a whole... I don't know if I'd be able to do a whole, like, VTuber thing set. I mean, I might. It'll be a success if I could get him into VR chat. Celestial, I asked him about VR chat, and he said, you might not really care for it. I was like, why? He gave me a list of reasons, but he said, you know, I was like, I mean, unless you're thinking about with models and stuff, and I was like, yeah, because to me, that part seemed cool. And he said, yeah, that's the fun part. But then he told me, like, a bunch of flaws with it. And I was like, well, either way, I'm not getting a headset. Like, well, gotta get back to work. Hope you have a nice day. Like, I hope you have a good day too, Miss D. I hope work stays good for you, because it's just, I think the grocery panic's just not gonna get better from here as Thanksgiving looms closer. It's, like, I feel like it's like one of the pins, like my chair came loose. No, that wasn't it. I think the cloth just came loose a bit. I literally have a cloth over my chair, and it's pinned with safety pins because I don't like the cloth texture that my chair has by default. God forbid we deal with Black Friday. Yeah. Because like I've thought about trying to get some stuff like before Christmas and Black Friday happens. I know people say, but that's when the best deals happen. It's like, yeah, but then you gotta worry about all the people who go crazy over Black Friday. It's like, it ain't worth it, y'all. It ain't worth it. It's just a flat screen TV. Cause, I know we have a small town, but we still have some pretty wild people here and there. Either way. That just reminds me. Do I, like, trying to think, do I want to surprise my folks with something this year? Because last year I told them I was getting them something and they said, no, don't you do it. So I'm tempted to think, do I want to surprise them? Just say, oh, by the way, here. Because I thought of that, I'm able to get away from a lecture if I say, like, if I draw them something, but they don't like it if, like, say I bought them an ornament or something, because they're like, no. We don't know how much that cost you. Don't, because it's like they know how life is. But if I draw them something, they'll let it slide, but they'll still kind of look at me like. It's because it's like my parents are literally the people who say we just want a boring Christmas and everything, and it's like, but a boring Christmas has gift exchanging still, eh? Yeah, it's like. I don't remember what they've said the last time I said that, but it's still that fact. I think they said we still told you not to get us anything. It's like, I made it. I made it for you. Either way, cause yeah, I know I could do them a drawing for fact, but my printer wants to be a jerk. And if anything, I need a different printer. Oh, I like how this OC is turning out. That's good! Because, yeah, I probably could fit it on my bookshelf behind me. I just need to move what books and stuff I have on it over. Do they want boring or none Christmas with left beef? No, the for them Christmas is, everyone gets together, has a meal together, enjoys each other's company, just bees family and forgets the problems of the world, and it's like essentially living in that happiness, like nothing bad. And yeah, there's gift exchanging, sure, but it's like it's essentially that's what they focus on, is the essence of family is together, at least even if it's just one time of the year. That's just Thanksgiving. You could say my parents have just a colder Thanksgiving in December. Thanksgiving is actually when some of my more distant relatives actually come to visit, because, yeah, my aunt, she often has Christmas with my cousin and her daughters, because, yeah, they stop by for, like, some hours, but in terms of there all day, it's usually me, my mom, my stepdad, and my brother. And I do think my uncle, like, my mom's brother comes. Because I do think he's for fat coming this year. I just know I won't be able to do Thanksgiving because I'm working. But Christmas, I know this year will be a bit more up in the air for me if I have to work that day, because we're short-staffed. Because one of my coworkers, the coworker of mine who was having a baby, she had her baby. Sad thing is it had to be an emergency C-section. But happy, healthy being. Everyone was okay. Just precious. Absolutely precious. And it's like, she sent us all a picture, like, saying, you know, here she is. I was like, ah, I see. No wonder you had such bad heartburn. Because she has a head of hair. but although she is so cute. She is absolutely precious. And then she showed us pictures, of her son. She said he was 4. Yeah, oh, at least the C-section went well. Yeah, at least it went well. But showed us pictures of her son holding his new baby sister, and he's just smiling so big. He's just like holding her close, just loving her, and we're all like, now that does the heart so much good. It's so beautiful and precious. Because like some of my coworkers started crying. It was so precious and cute. Because I was like, he just loves her. And I was just like, see, this is what makes the pain bearable. Because I know my mom was worried about how my brother would deal with having me, and it's like, no, it ended up the same. But it's still that case in point fact still. Because like, I know she was worried since, oh yeah, glad they're getting along. Yeah, because her son, like I said, I think she said he was 4, and was still learning how to like cope with being a big sibling. Because she said she was getting all the old baby stuff out, so then, you know, give it to the daughter. And he was like, oh, I want that. That's mine. And she's like, no, honey, you're too old for it. But I think now it's starting to click that it's for her in his widow head. Because he's smart. From what I've heard, he is a smart little bean. And this is the fact of like he's gonna show her how to turn on the TV. Or at least try his best to, one or the other. Because he already learned how to turn on the TV and stuff all on his own without like needing help to flip through the channels on Netflix and whatnot. I was like, yeah, sounds about right. But either way, like, keep looking outside to see how dark it's getting, and I just see this huge mound of just newly dug up dirt from across the street. Because like I said, they brought the diggers back out not long ago. I think they put a stop because of the cold. For now, I don't know how far it's going to be. I know they're going to kick back up in summer, like, full force, though. But either way. And I realize I need to go get more water. Because I'm out of water and I'm out of chalky milk. Anyways, how cold has it been getting for your area? It's been a little warm the past couple of days, but it's been cool enough to where we haven't had to turn on the AC to keep either the house cool or keep it warm. But earlier, like late October and earlier this month, I know it's been getting in the 40s. So we had to turn on the heater a few times. And to be fair, if our kids anything like me, they'll be able to hold a controller and play games before they can talk. What's worse is that I remember getting into my brother's crap when I was really, really little. I have vague memories. I knew what a Pokemon was, before I knew what Disney characters were.
Which one do you want, water or chalky milk?
I guess I'll have water. Cleanse the palate.
Alrighty.
Just from sugar.
Yeah.
The face you gave me.
Sugar! You're funny, normally I'm the one who drains the milk. Now it's you.
It's chocolate milk.
Yes, I'm aware it's chalky milk, but...
I don't like the pre-made chocolate milk out of the store.
I know you don't, it sucks.
If it ain't Hershey's, I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'll be with you.
Okay. Yeah, that's cold. It is cold. But,
That's warm as hell, though.
I mean, it ain't too bad.
No, though with how dark it's getting, I don't plan on opening a window since, you know, it wouldn't be any point.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think you need to relatch the window in the living room.
Do I?
Yeah, the one you've been opening.
I'll double check it.
Alright.
I'll be back.
Alrighty. But, Yeah, it's not been bipolar, but it's been more appropriate weather. But I will say, I haven't seen a November in a while where, I actually needed to turn on the AC. Because I remember when I was little, November was one of those extremely cold months. But it only got colder in around Christmas. And, because I remember going to Thanksgiving with my dad to see all my extended relatives. And you had to bundle up. Like, really bad. It wasn't freezing, but it was still very cold. Like, giving both most of these forms eyelashes as male, because why not? I mean, the way I draw most guy characters, I give them girly lashes. Because I know some people just have girlier lashes. It's more so like what feels right to their actual appearance. Like, what look are you going for is what settles it for me. Because Talos is supposed to be that ambiguous in-between. Dudes having all-ass lashes. Talos is one of the guilty ones in my drawing style who has long lashes. I try to ease them back because I'm like, the edges of his eyes are covered, if not his whole, because yeah, his whole right eye for the most part, except for maybe 10% of it is covered by his curls anyway. But he has, believe it or not, essentially the same eyelashes as Rune for the most part. But I think it just for the most part depends on the drawing. Because I have one very cute drawing of them. It's my lock screen on my phone.
There you go.
Thank you.
And I did have to relatch it.
Yeah. Because I felt like I was like, did he open that earlier or no? I couldn't remember.
No, I didn't, and I must have forgotten yesterday.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
Alrighty.
Alright, la you.
La you.
Would Rune make over Telos? She'd be very picky on what makeup he wore. But she would. She definitely would. And, because he's a glass doll, he knows it comes with the territory, odds are. But of course, that's if he can stop, like, turning completely pink in terms of, like, the little, like, pink fractals. If he could stop turning pink all over, it probably would work out. But I think eventually that he would be able to, like, stay calm enough to where it's like, because I know with doing makeup, she'd have to hold his face, really look, pay attention to the details, and just be very careful. Because I've seen people do makeup, and I'm not a fan of wearing makeup myself, but I've seen people do it, and I'm like, this is an art form of itself that I just can't do for myself. But there's a reason why I deeply respect it, because it's so time-consuming, and professional makeup artists, like, it's just incredible what I've seen, like, them do. Because I used to see, because there was nothing else to watch at my grandparents' house, I used to see shows like Face Off and whatnot. and it was just, like, the absolute transformations and stuff. To where it's, like, it's something that where it's, like, I can't do that, and I'm not upset that I'd never be able to do that. Because it's so amazing. It tells turns pink. Maybe I should have picked a color that matches the pink. I mean, I sometimes think about it, and sometimes I think about, like, Talos can't really wear certain colors, but I think Rune could make certain kinds of makeup work on him, though. Like, I do think that she could, especially because it's like, yeah, I'd say his most default outfit that isn't his normal cap and cloak is literally a black t-shirt and a dark purple hoodie around his waist and, like, black, like, it's like legging shorts. And the shirt's literally a t-shirt from his favorite heavy metal band. And it's like, cause I look at how Telos is and I'm like, this is literally the guy who wears nothing but black. Just because he knows he looks at least okay in it, and he's willing to suffer in terms of the heat. But I think I think Rue would be able to try to find things that look nice on him. But otherwise, I think he's stuck to purple and black in terms of color. I'd like to try drawing him in cutesy outfits, though, just to see what would Rune pull off. Like, well, it's like, what would you pull off this time? Now I'm just thinking of drawing him in a cutesy pink dress, just to see how well it fits. But, cause I have drawn Amma in a cute dress. I know I've drawn Telos in, a tuxsuit. Maybe red Aline-use? I don't think I've heard of red Aline. Oh, a red Aline. Maybe. Like, well, like when I look up red Aline, it's, that's a pretty bright red. I would say definitely something darker to break up the pattern. That's definitely something for him. Yeah. Should I make the two forms separate personalities? With the different personalities, I would say, from advice of having done Telos and Amma as they are, it would be best to make them very distinct, because then you yourself don't get confused, because Telos and Amma are I know it's a mistake I made, that they're not just sprouted from the same entity, they're essentially rather similar in quite a few regards, but that's where it's best to actually branch them out into being, okay, what kind of person are they between the two forms? Because then they're far more distinct than just appearance. Like, Amma's more timid than Telos is, but Telos is a bit more cold and aloof at first encounter, and where he can be timid and shy, he can actually be also a little brash and loud, especially when he gets comfortable with somebody. Like, he's not afraid to be, like, himself once he gets to know you. Amma, she's more herself after first meeting someone new. But again, she's not cold and aloof. She's actually very warm, but shy. But it's just that differences between them is that it's best that you make them, like, very distinct and paralleling. Because then it's more, okay, set to different identities. Because that's what I'm having to do with Amma and Telos, just to make sure my brain understands their characters better, and they're my own characters. The spellcaster form is more kind of nice, so the swordsman form is more aloof and direct. That would definitely be fitting, like, because it makes it seem like the swordsman is more like, definitely the serious knight type. That, like, more no nonsense. Definitely the Skyrim line of no lollygagging. And just, like they can, like, laugh at a joke, but for them making a joke might be hard. Meanwhile, the spellcaster, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, with the kinda nice was, like, what most people idealize a cleric to be in most fantasy genres. But when I say cleric, it also comes with the fact of, if you mess with a cleric, you're gonna get the backhand of God. Or the joke is very deadpan. That's just Rune. Rune is very deadpan. Because I think what's the funny part with Rune is that she's so deadpan, that makes the joke funny. Yeah, and Esme, yeah. Like, the deadpan expression or telling of the joke would probably add to the comedy, though. Because, like, say Rune ever tried telling a joke, she was like, knock knock, and, you know, Telos and them were like, who's there? And she says, a chicken, and it's like, a chicken who is like, a chicken who's looking for their friends, and it's just, it's the fact of, like, really? Because she's just so deadpan, and it's like, what? What do you mean it's looking for its friends? It's like, they might be in the house. Or knowing her, she'd say, you're in the barn, and it's looking for its friends. Let it in. she'd pull that kind of logic out of nowhere, but it's at the same time, it makes sense. If you have a chicken, you're on a farm, and it wants in the barn with the other chickens. But that's about how she is. Just like in terms of jokes, like she has some. They may not make sense, but she has some. Yeah, the anti-jokes. Oh no, I definitely had one for Celestial and Riven, because I was going to bring Celestial, pick him up to bring him over, and there was a chicken crossing the road because someone around where he lives has chickens. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. And then of course I was lucky to see what's on the other side. It really was other chickens. It was going to join the other chickens. They're uploading. That's good. But I legit texted Riven. I was like, dude, I know why the chicken crossed the road. He was like, why? But because I was very soon after picking up Celestial and driving. I had to wait till I got home to tell him it was to get to the other side with the other chickens. It was to meet up with his friends. And he was like, that makes sense. Because it really did make sense. Why wouldn't you want to go across the street to be with your friends? Why not? But it's still that fact. Yeah, speaking of it, why did the chicken cross the road? The fence was broken, it escaped. My brain just went to, if Talos heard that, he'd go, hey, who didn't fix the fence? Do you know how expensive chickens are? Because he's a farmer, he takes the joke a little too seriously when it involves why did the chicken cross the road. He's just like, hey, who didn't fix the fence? Now there's a chicken missing. And I'm proud of how they turned out. I'm glad you're proud of them, because that's one of the biggest things. Because like I was looking at Talos's moth form, and like I said, when I was trying to redraw that, I was not the happiest with it, and hence why now I'm trying to at least tweak the design around. I just need to draw different things that are like exclusive to his moth form, like the crystal glass, the cocooning and everything. Little on the scales, because if he puffs up in his moth form, he could release toxic scales that like hurt. They deal poison damage if you come in contact with the particles. Which shows Telos has a particle effect if he puffs up in that form. I especially wanted to fix the wings, because in that way they'd be easier to draw. But for the most part they're broken till they heal. Because that's one thing's for sure with one of the fics I've been trying to tweak so there were more to his lore that I had written. And it was with I literally whenever I talk about it with Riven, I say that one fic where he got punched by Tala. Cause he needed it. Talos really needed it. He goes into his moth form because Gino says, hey, can I see it? And Talos reveals to him his wings are broken, and he can't fly because they're broken, because of what happened. And it's actually painful for him to move his wings too far while they're still broken, and that ends up setting off the events, but it's the fact of that he has a flight problem. Yeah, behold, let me see. Oh, I love that so much. Just the distinct two different forms, like down to even the hair. And I like the armor design too. They literally look like a character straight from a D&D campaign. They do, and I love that. It is just the straight up differences. It's just, I love looking at them. I like how the sword form looks more tired. It looks so done. While the other one's just like, I got this. Spellcaster's like, I can do this. I got this. I love that. Oh, that's so perfect. I love that so much. You did a great job. Like, now I can't wait to see when they're colored. Because I know that when they're colored, it's going to be fantastic. Just all the more striking of differences, especially in terms of color scheme. But, yeah, I do need to try finishing that while it's the weekend, maybe. The whole, reference with him, with his wings. Because, I mean, I know I could easily just put the wing pattern and his form on his, character notes. I know I could, but I kind of want to doodle how the, different powers he has works. Because, like, I feel like you can only discern so much from a description, but they're moth-based powers. So, at the same time, my brain's like, but why would it be hard to understand? It shouldn't be hard. Like, and I noticed that the playlist is ending. Let me go find another one. Let's see. Do video game music for a rainy day, because it was raining earlier here. And I don't know if it'll start raining again earlier. Or earlier. Later. It might rain more later. At least knowing our weather system, it might. The reason swordsman form exists is due to having all their spells stolen. They kind of forgot who they were. I mean, I'd say that's a very good, way to put, like, they lost an ability, but they are far from helpless in terms of it. But it's also kind of funny, because then it's like they have a whole new identity, and then when they do get their spells back, now they have an alternative form that they could just rely on, which is actually good, because, like, Tellus and Emma work on, like, an in tandem battery. Because, like, when Tellus gets tired, Emma takes over. But it's still that simple fact. It'd also be neat because, like, in terms of D&D, it also works as a multi-classing thing. Because then it's like they can actually, like, switch between what they want to use at a certain moment, and that can be very good for a boss. It really could. You know, Sarah and Fiam? Try to think, am I saying the second one right? Because Sarah, or Saria, and Fiam, or is it Fiam? My Skyward Sword's coming out. Because I called her Fi. I called the sword Fi. But I know some people said Fee. But, yeah, like Seraphim. Oh! So it's Sarah and Fiam. Or Saria and Fiam. I like that. That's really cool. And then my brain immediately goes to Sephiroth. If the sword wielder has Sephiroth coloration, I'm gonna be laughing so hard. Close enough, yeah. Because it's just gonna be like, I wonder who might have stolen their powers. Yeah, that was the inspiration. If someone like Cloud stole their powers, that would be great. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just somebody like Hojo. Riven calls Professor Hojo Jojo simply because he saw in the abridged series of Final Fantasy VII, like the dubbed version, and he couldn't let it go, especially because nobody likes Hojo. Nobody does. But either way, one thing I did think of was like they reside in the weapons world. That especially makes sense because of combat orientation. One thing I did think of this because that just reminds me of something. As I had one thought, I moved to another. My ADHD in full action, everybody. I joked to Riven like, hey, what if somebody had like some weapon had the ability to cancel magic, but not cancel magic for their allies. And Smithy made a weapon like this. Or one of his siblings did. One or the other. And I said, how? How would that work? And I told him, the way I can see it working is Smithy somehow coding the magic to where, yeah, the whole anti-magic thing works on their enemies, but not their allies, because other weapons have a special code that you could say makes up their magic or adds to their magical force. And the field doesn't recognize it as magic as a result, even though it is. And so another weapon's magic isn't canceled out, but whoever their enemy is. They lose their magic in the field, like in the area. He said it sounds neat, but I know it needs some more refinement in how the heck it works. But either way, Saria used to be a Star Guardian until the weapons world Star Road was destroyed. I like imagining if, like, with a Star Road that existed in Weapon World, you mention it to people and everyone going, you mean the one in Mario's world? Or people say that's just a silly fairy tale. But it's still that fact of, like, it's something that'd be really fun to explore. Especially because it's like, I've thought of having other Star Guardians in my idea of Weapon World, but so far Talos is the only Zatar there, and even then I don't know if you could say he's a guardian much for anything aside from mods and agriculture. Because he actually does help Maroon out a lot in terms of my own version of Weapon World. Because, where they have a biofuel thing, he helps grow food for said biofuel. And the moths he raises help keep the plants alive by, you know, spreading pollen, helping spread their seeds, and so on and so forth. Because, you could look at how I draw them and you can't tell me their little nubbins can't carry a seed somewhere and just plop it on the dirt. If Fiam is the thoughts left over from Saria's memory loss. Yeah. Like, my brain immediately went to, that's how a lot of alternate identities happen. But, at the same time, though, what else is going to form the alternative identity? Whatever's left behind. It's going to merge together with other experiences that happen in the moment, and you get a whole new person. Now, honestly, I kept imagining Weapon World would be festered in Zatars. I mean, probably. It is a darker world. It would be. It's like, it would be making sense. Which, like, because I know the Zatar arc is being tweaked, but the ideas I've seen, it's like, they're all so good. Yeah, darker, more miserable. Indeed it is. And I think it's only the main area that'd be polluted, technically. I like to imagine it would be funny as if they had green energy, it's just they don't have sunlight very much in certain places because of the void and the fog of the void. Either way, it's getting dark. I might want to close my curtain. I need to close it better than that. There we go. Saria and Fiam's true form is literally just safe for Sephiroth. All stars have boss forms. I like to imagine that they do. All stars and Zatars have boss forms. But it depends on the person of what they look like, to where you can get some wild stuff. Very wild stuff. Yeah, I've kind of checked out on the Star Wars AU since the Zatar got told it needed to be revamped. I mean, is it a bad thing? Because, like, I've been thinking about Erebus's true form. Like, is it Rosie themed? Because I've been trying to, like, figure stuff out with Telos and everything with it. Like with it in general, because I've mostly been trying to focus on his characterization as, it's not just, I don't know, something about it suddenly made my stomach churn. I mean, it's gonna happen. Because, like when it comes to, like, something you put a lot of work into and then it suddenly needs to be reworked after it's sat that way for so long, it doesn't really sit right. But I think it's just a flow that people are wanting to find better. Because I've mostly been just trying to figure out, how does Telos cope with, he has all these friends here, and now his old friends show up, and he's like, oh god, are they gonna fight? They're probably gonna fight. What do I do? Like, I'm afraid of losing both things I care about all at once. And that's what my brain's been mostly focusing on. That, and I keep forgetting to post, my Sui arc stuff. Like, my Sui napping thing for Telos, because Telos is my only character around at that time. It's a monster made of rose vines and roses. That just reminds me of one of the monsters from Badlands, and it's so cool. Like, it's literally just a plant monster. Living vines. Anxiety rose, Tommy got upset, and I guess there's a few things that stacked up. Yeah, it happens. Because I felt the same thing in terms of wanting to work on my stuff, but work kept getting in the way. Especially because having to train a bunch of new people all at once. Like, I kid you not, back to back, we had new people come in. Because I had one new coworker come in and had to teach her everything. Then we had a new guy, and literally right after came in another new girl who was like, I think she's like fresh out of high school. And I'm like, I want to brainstorm stuff again. I want to write. I want to work on this stuff, but it did let me, in terms of trying to do stuff, like do that alongside it, it did help me step back and look at it. And now it's something I'm trying to focus on more. But it's still that fact. Like, it's still that fact of, like, I know that feeling, but I know mine comes from a different direction, but it's still that I know that feeling, because it's like, I get anxious, like, I haven't spoken in the chat for a long time, and it's like, I feel like I haven't contributed to anything, and then it's like, for all I know, my characters are just sitting there doing nothing, and to me, it just doesn't feel great. Like, they're essentially meaning nothing. And I don't even know how Rune exactly meets the camp in the Weapon World arc. Because I know she's there. I know they meet her. But how they meet her, I sat there and realized, holy crap, how do they even meet her in terms of everything? Because I thought of asking, but let alone writing out an idea, but part of me wants to ask first what makes the most sense. Because that's one of the biggest things, because I feel like with Rune, she's probably my most underused character. Because I think of stuff with Rillis and Roaster all the time. Just like Telos and Emma. Yeah, Erebus accidentally turns it out of form because of all the stress and everything amounting all at once. That'll do it. That'll do it with a character. They will turn, like, boss mode all because they're tired. They're done. Because with Roaster, I've had all these thoughts of having to, you know, go about getting used to the camp. He's naive and she wants to explore, but she wants to do different stuff. And now and their siblings are protective, and they know if something bad happens to Rosie, Drama's gonna get very upset. You have to make a startle, and now he's just collecting dust. I can't even remember his name, because we're not even at that arc yet. Rivet, I told you this. We all agreed. Let's take a step back for the Glom arc and focus on what's already going on. Like, but it's still that fact. It's still just that fact, though. Like, because I've been trying to write out, Little Rosie. That's the fixed name, Little Rosie. Because I don't know exactly when Roaster will come in either. I just remembered that. If I ever make a boss form for Esme, it'd be set off in the same way Peach became super radiant. That would be epic. Like, cause I loved how radiant Peach looked, like super radiant. I was like, oh, it's so pretty, it's so beautiful. So it wouldn't just be very beautiful and pretty, but it's the fact of like, just because of Esme's aesthetic and then becoming super radiant, and then it's just like, oh, that's awesome. I mean, one good thing I will say in terms of stepping back and rethinking things is that, with Telos's wings, not only have I made a simpler design for them, but I thought of something that definitely adds into his arc of healing, like him making these friends leading up to him having a big panic attack. But, it involves, like, his wings do heal over time, but I thought of, depending on his emotions, they heal faster or slower. Esme's aesthetic, whatever that is. I mean, I like to think that it would really put a play on it. Erebus almost ends up choking someone with his rose vines unintentionally. Yeah, poor Deck. As you can see him below Rune and Telos, he had to put up with that in the movie, I can tell you that. Again, that monster would be such a good idea for a boss form, because, I'm not joking, it's just literal living vines twirled together into tendrils, and it's so cool. It's just so cool. But, I've thought about it, and it's like, as Telos gets better, he makes more connections and friends, he starts getting less stressed and everything, his anxiety attacks start dying down, and his wings actually begin to heal. They actually begin to regenerate, because they can regenerate. Like, he has that ability to regenerate them, but it's like he couldn't until he actually stopped wandering. He actually made healthy connections again, and from there, when he starts making starry connections, making proper bonds, that he actually starts getting celestial or zodiac-like patterns on his wings that reflect the relationships he made. Why do I give him all the trauma? Shrug. We have that one character who's just, they've been through so much. They've been through way too much. Meanwhile, Telos, I think he's the one who's been through the rough the most. I mean, Rune's had something up with her. Rosie, she's going to be dealing with a lot of stuff on his end. Rillis had a good gobsmack of angst and trauma, but the whole point with him is that he comes in to get better, because the Star Spirits, they don't really want him doing a wish-granting job after what happened until he proves he's better. So sends him to the program to say, hey, get better. They're like, show that you can get past or be better than what you did. And not only finds out, oh, Emma's here, but he ends up making amends. Making amends with her, and from there, like, yeah, he's offered his job back, but from there he says, nah, I think I found a better job at this point. I found a better calling in life. I couldn't give a name for a starter who went through the ringer. Other than the fact I don't have a star. Yeah. Pretty much. But, because I've thought of asking Kirby about it since he does a lot of the Weapon World stuff. Because I was wanting to ask him, does it make sense, lore-wise, because he would know the most about lore with Smithy, that he would get annoyed with Rune's emotions because he was childish, naive, all the time, 24/7. Not catching a break from her. And he essentially took what emotions she had and either stunted them, or as I like to call them, capping them, to where she feels the faintest of things instead of, like, because the difference I can see between stunting them and capping them is stunting them is that he ground them to the dust so bad she struggles to emote completely, and from there has to grow past what happened. He essentially emotionally inflicted her inability to feel or express herself onto her, versus capping her emotions, where he actually opened up her noggin and basically tweaked her ability to feel and express to where she still feels things, but expressing them's even harder, and now there's actual hardware or something stopping her. Like, she feels happy to, like, have cookies for lunch, but it stops at the faintest of feeling, to where, yeah, like, say Recruiter could feel, oh, she's happy, she just can't tell you, essentially. Yeah, like, yeah, Smithy, I know in the AU's not a great guy, but it is that he cares for Rune enough. Our partner made us something wholesome. Did they? But, I wanted to ask, because I know it would explain why, because I feel like it makes more sense than, oh, she was born and had a flaw. But at the same time, I don't know if having a flaw makes more sense. Discord. Let me see. Discord. Why ain't it showing me? It ain't wanting to show me. Huh. Alright, fine, Discord. Keep your secrets. But it's still that fact. Yeah, Recruiter. He may be the ringer out of the... He may not be a doll, but he counts to be. I mean, from what I remember with Recruiter, like, he's definitely a spirit. Definitely a form of spirit. Not just some weapon. And it's like, and that makes him very special, very unique. But again, because I would think about stuff with Rune of the... He's a sparkle sprite. Yeah! He's not just a weapon, he's also a sparkle sprite. But it's just, that's one of the bigger things I stepped back on and thought more about, and then I realized I might want to lore check that to see if it even makes any sense. But then it's like, I see other conversations happen and I don't want to interrupt because they're very good lore, very good stuff, and I literally get shy and don't want to interrupt because it's all very good. He was made with the Passion Drafter used to have making him. Yeah. He's like, cause that's one of the biggest things, is like emotion put into him, you know, into making him, and then just a complete, like, you could say, like, magic tablecloth trick of, and change of plans on Drafter's end. But it's still that fact. It's just, part of me wants to see if the whole thing with Rune, like, her emotions being capped off by Smithy, if it makes the most sense. And now that he's gone, now she's trying to get back what he took away from her. And Talos ends up being one of the people who helps, and that kind of helps them get into a relationship. Otherwise, it's because she thinks he's a little dork. But, it's just, that's one of the things I stepped back and thought about. Another one was, because I realized I really needed to fix Hecate and Rillis's backstories, and I did. And I'm really happy with how they are, because now Rillis, when the way he meets Rostern, it's actually kind of funny, because he helps protect Rostern in a fight, because Rostern wandered off. And Rostern when all is said and done, it's like, you fight like a flopping fish. And he's like, I helped you, didn't I? Come on. But it's still that fact of like, because Rilla says, hey, I'm looking for this place, you know, the Star Warrior camp. And Roston's like, oh, I'm part of it. Let me lead you there. And from there, I'm trying to make their relationship as cutesy as possible. Because it is. Like, they're both two absolute dorks that are just like, they have their issues, but they end up actually mellowing each other's issues out. Like, big time. And Drafter tries to smush Recruiter's personality, but Recruiter is either too strong for that, or Drafter isn't trying that hard. But he couldn't do what Smithy did. Yeah, look at this. What is it? Oh my goodness. It's like, I haven't seen, alternately colored evolutions in quite a while. Not might have friend made it. But it's so cute. It's just the fact of like, though, it's like an Umbreon and Flareon. Like, I like the idea of a inverted, what is essentially, yeah, the shiny colors inverted on an Umbreon, but it's so cool. It's different. I really like that. And like, black does look very good on a Flareon because fire type. Yeah, it's me and my boyfriend. Again, it's so cute. It's adorable. But again, it's just different stuff that I've mulled over. I want to share, but I'm afraid of sharing it and interrupting conversation. I know it's probably not that big a deal, especially on the weekends, because I know it's been a bit slow lately. But I know people would say, if anything, it's best to share one idea at a time. If not, just like have a thing and have it open for critiquement. Because one of the biggest things is that like, you fight like a fish, you trip like you have 2 left feet, your form is off, too stiff, you missed half of your swings. Do you have anything good to say? Sora's just like actually training with Rilla's. Roasterd actually picks him apart like that. Not in that exact line, but picks him apart. And he's like, well, thanks. And it's Rose is like, it's not my fault you can't see that very well. You need glasses, and we keep telling you this. Now go get glasses. Glasses, contacts, something. Get something. Oh yeah, that was one thing. I will say, I did finish alongside Rillis's backstory in terms of stepping back for concept. I changed Rillis's outfit because when he first comes to camp, it's the one from his original art. The cape, with the floof collar, the crown. At first it's like that, but then eventually he goes and gets a different outfit alongside his glasses. And because he trips over his cape a lot. Because he's just like, because he can't really see very well, so he keeps tripping on things. I thought of him having a polearm instead, or a different polearm, because yeah, he had a polearm before. I think I made it a hook bill. But I thought of him using it kind of like a seeing cane, and then I was like, wait, he can see a certain distance away, unless something suddenly got in his way, because I don't know if his vision could get worse or better. Yeah, Soraya, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy, Fiam. Yeah, Fiam, telepathically, dang. I've seen people do that meme with the randomest characters. It was funny. I think I saw someone do it with Bowyer. I don't remember exactly who it was with, though. Like, Bowyer's like, dang it. Oh, boy. But, yeah, I do need to do stuff with Hekate too, because I gave him a better design. I really like it. He's a little wizard. No bowyer would kill. Yeah, he would. Yeah, he's just like, get good aim, I must. Yeah, hit my target, I will. But, oh boy, I love that boy. I love him so much. If people think poor Soraya is crazy because she keeps talking to herself, telepathy has its drawbacks. It doesn't always work the way people think it does. But either way, because right now I have him wandering. Yeah, I have Hekate wandering around looking for his dang daughter. Yeah, but in reality she's just talking to herself. Again, drawbacks. There's always a drawback to something. That's the thing. I have so much stuff I need to make a list, and I need to write out, okay, what needs thinking on, what needs an answer, so then I know how it works. Because while I'm at work, I can think on it. I can think on it a lot, because I tend to. If anything, I might want to try doing that now. Try making just this list. Cause one is, I guess like one is like, I guess I put down how Rune meets the Star Warriors. Gotta go dinner. Alright, have a good din-dins. I hope the food is delicious. But yeah, there's how Rune meets the Star Warriors, and then there's how Hekate meets, or joins this, or joins up with them. Yeah, you tend to forget stuff while at work. This is why I forget things! My brain's occupied with other stuff! Other important things! Yeah, how Hekate meets the Star Warriors. Because, yeah, Rilla's gets sent down and Rosie meets their siblings, and the siblings are like, you wanna come with? And Drama's like, no! Then later on's like, okay, do you wanna go with? And of course Rosie's like, yeah! And yeah, Horror is the one who convinces Drama, like, hey, I know it sounds scary, but look at what Esme and Z can do. Like, I think this would be good for Rosie. You know, little Rose Stern. I think this would be good for them. Yeah, there's Rune. Yeah, there's Smithy Cap Rune's emotions. Trying to remember other ones. Cause yeah, I rant and rave about it and then I forget. Shit. Cause Amma is there from then on when she wakes up, when she heals. Cause it did how Rune meets them, you know, how did Smithy mess up her emotions? How did he mess her up? I think is a good way to just put it. And then how Hekate meets them, because... Oh yeah, then there's like, when does Rillis come in? Yeah, Rillis and, Roastern. Again, things I want to think about, but I need to think of a better answer to than just, oh, it happened. I keep imagining how the convo between Horror and Drama went on convincing Drama to let Rosie go to camp, but keep imagining Horror had to bring up how Drama's own parent would probably do the same thing. Depends, actually. Depends. I mean, I've had a bit of an idea of the conversation, and they use, essentially how does, look at what they are capable of. They're more mature, responsible. I know that's probably in major quotation marks, but drama would use it as a point. Not drama, horror would use it as a point. They would use it as a massive point. And they would use that, social. But it's just the fact of, would have essentially used that case in point of, hey, look how good it does them. Why not have the same thing for Rosie? It would help Rosie in the long run. And just drama being the overprotective parent that they are, it's like, no, I don't like the idea. And then eventually comes around to, after seeing Rosie really got their heart up for it, or put their heart into the idea, and they think about it more, especially with what drama said. He's in drama. Horror. With what horror says, drama thinks about it, and then goes to talk to Rosie themselves. They're responsible. That's responsible to you. First off, they're kids. I mean, in terms of older siblings, Esme and Z they're actually quite responsible despite everything. They are. But, I mean, who knows? Having Rose-Stern around probably would affect, responsibility. Probably. But it's still that fact of the matter, at least. Because I know having their little sibling around definitely would have quite a dynamic. Because Rose-Stern would have to learn how to fight, proper, and not just how to use their Darko power. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Rose-Stern needs to learn how to control their power, how to cap it. Because that was originally something for Telos, and then I realized it just doesn't fit him anymore, so I completely erased it from his doc, and I was like, yeah, this is purely a Rose-Stern thing now. Because Rose-Stern is young. He's still a young sprite. And Telos has been around for a long time. Even as Emma has been around for a long time. So, they actually have a cap on their powers, because, yeah, he baby. Yeah, he's very young. He has a lot to learn. And it's just the fact of, because he has a lot to learn, it's like, why not go spread your roots somewhere? Go learn from someplace else. Because it is only going to affect Rosie for the better in the long run. Chaos and Havoc aside, it will. We all know it will. But it's still just that fact of, one of the biggest things, because I was writing little Rosie here and there, because again, I write in parts, and then I try to connect them later. With little Rosie, I actually had a very fun, like, tidbit of time when I was writing a one part, and it's that Rosie wanders off into camp, because for some reason I like giving Rosie a bit of a wanderlust, in terms of, like, when you spark his curiosity, he's prone to wandering. And Rosie runs into Telos, who's carrying, like, something heavy, and he has to stop, catch his breath, probably been carrying it for a while, and I would know that, personally now. I carried some very heavy boxes from my folks' porch to my own back porch, because we don't live very far away. My arms were burning for like a couple hours after. How they didn't feel overly sore the next day, I have no idea. I mean, babies tend to wander as they learn to walk. Rose-Stern is a little baby bean who's wandering around because they have yet to learn, don't do that. But that's the thing, like, because he knows how to walk, clearly. But it definitely is that natural curiosity that he has being so young, so new. And having been purely in, like in his own hometown, under the watch of his parents all the time. She's going to wander. She's going to be curious, overly curious. And a lot of things are going to go over their head. You know, a lot. But it's still that fact. I'm trying to think when Rose Stern would join the program. I thought about it being around the protester arc. I'm not sure, because I did realize at one point that might not be the best idea, or it probably would be hilariously a good idea. Somehow a good idea. Because maybe it's the fact of, like, showing they, like, the Star Warriors have families, and they help teach young spirits and sprites that come into being, hey, you got a lot of very great and crazy powers, and you need to be responsible. So, here's how to do that. I just keep imagining the theater siblings as gender-bent versions of, like, the bald bear siblings of a series of unfortunate events. They most likely are. Oh man, why do I see that now being an actual play drama rights? It's just the kids, the siblings, the theater siblings, and just a series of unfortunate events. Oh, I remember now. I did kind of see that movie for a bit, like when I was in school at one point, because like they showed it to us like on the last day of school, but we never got to finish it. And I've been getting curious about watching it again. I don't know. Is it on Hulu or Disney Plus? I want to know if it is. It's like, Rose has to be out of their doll to play as Sunny. Oh. Yeah, a series of unfortunate events. Is like the show based on Lemony Snicket's books. It's only on Netflix? I thought it was just a movie. They relaunched it as an original series, but it was a 2004 movie that's on, like, it's on Amazon Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. Huh. Well, alright then. Because I'm not getting Netflix. Because all the stuff I ever want to watch is on Hulu. Which is, I'll admit, it's mostly the Predator movies. But that's beside the point. I like watching Chopped because it's like, okay, here's some weird ingredients, get creative. Sue would, like, be amazing at a game like Chopped. He would. I've read the books after playing the video game. It had a video game? I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere, but I don't quite remember where. But, yeah, on Xbox, if I recall. Yeah, I didn't get into doing the Xbox games for, like, for years. Even then, I don't think my brother ever liked games like that. I think he mostly played Call of Duty. Not gonna lie. Cause yeah, one of his favorite games on our GameCube was the Call of Duty. My dad had one, yeah. But, no, he had an Xbox 360. So, and if this was just on playing Xbox, then it's a big no wonder. Yeah, it'd be a big no wonder why I had no idea. But it's still that case in point fact still. That I don't know if it makes the most sense that Rosie would show up to the part. I am literally thinking of something else. I don't know if it makes sense that they would show up and join the program during the protester arc. I mean, I can see Esme and Z maybe visited their parents during that time to, like, get away from everything. At least for a couple days. And met, oh, here, you have a little sibling now. And, of course, got to meet and bond with Rosie. and they brought Rosie back with them, but I feel like that would have started something else with the protester, or it would have added to the protester's point, finding out Rosie was a child. But it's still that fact. It's just because it's either that, or because I can see Drama maybe wouldn't want Rose Stern to go when it's still all crazy. It's hard to say. I mean, I also had the idea of Esme going home with the protests making Esme ill. That would probably especially drive it. To where Esme probably would meet Rose Stern when going home, if that happened. Because from there it's like, goes home because, you know, she's ill, and yeah, needing to recover and everything, but behold, little sibling. But Rose Stern is an absolute sweetheart, so most likely wanted to help dote on their big sister, like while they recovered. And it's just the fact alone, just because I know, like, from there, Esme would come back with Rose Stern if it permitted. It was permitted by Drama, because of course Hara's permission was there. But it was still that fact, because I'd feel like yeah, it would especially fuel the protester side of things, but it would also fuel the camp's reasoning of, hey, here's a brand new sprite who does not have control of their power at all. Guess who has to teach them? Us. Can you do it? You want to try? Go ahead. Because why do I feel like that's especially somebody's argument of, like, you want to try teaching Rose Stern how to use their powers when you don't have any of said powers? Go ahead. Do it. I dare you. But either way, I know adding Rose Stern in the arc would be a double-edged sword, but I think to a degree it would make it interesting, but at the same time it would be during a very downtrodden time, to where Rose Stern essentially has to now see, basically, I guess what some people would say that Drama has been trying to protect Rosie from, and that was adult problems. Because it's like, you're a child, you're a youngin', you do not need to be involved in this, and yet look what happens. But they still want Rosie to be with her siblings. Like, yeah, and she has plans to go back if the camp is gonna stay, but for now she's staying in Couch Potato. She's being a Couch Potato, and maybe going into her homeland's culture. Yeah, pretty much. If anything, like, baby steps for Rosie controlling their powers would be made at that point. Cause that from there makes the most sense. Cause like when then learning that the camp's gonna stay, then bring in Rosie, because it's like, hey, look, family. And of course, Rosie from there actually being given more in-depth lessons, because it's just not what lessons Esme can do while she's recovering, because feeling sick. But if anything, it would probably be good thing for Rosie to practice her chocolatiering, because for their patissier form, I like imagining they're a chocolatier, but I like to think that they would be able to make like little like candies or bonbons or something that can heal, possibly, because I know like those, like the different forms can do all kinds of things if the person puts their mind to it. They can do all kinds of things. So technically good. Perhaps it'd be a good distraction / bonding of training some acting. Essentially. My only question is, would Z go with them? Like, would Z go with Esme back home? Cause from there it would be bonding time on both ends. Because I know that those two have met Drama before. Like, and that is especially the fact that they know, don't mention Madam Grape. Even though it's like, who? It's like, Who? I mean, okay. Just like, okay, we won't talk about a person. That person in particular. But, again, it's still not fact. Just, again, to me, it's nice to think about these things after a long time of being able to only think about certain ideas at a time. Yay, Atlantica! Good luck singing, Riven. I remember Goofy, he's a turtle. It's his head coming out of a shell. And then it's just like, singing. Great. Depends. He's got pals affected by the protest in the camp, but he might visit after everything. So finding out Rosie's there is a surprise, probably. Like, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. That does make me think in terms of it, because I have thought about, like, with Telos in the Protester arc, he's a farmer. Might be, but horror may hint at it. That would probably put him like, what are you planning? Or what's going on over there? Because, I mean, I know he already worries about what goes on at home, and then the protest happens, and then it's like, what? But like, Telos is a farmer. I don't know if technically him being a farmer and a conservationist as of raising moths would be... I don't know if it would be actually a plus on the camp side, or if it would just be something that, like, is a mild inconvenience, especially on Telos' end. Because I don't know if he'd be, like, he'd be feeling okay enough to go foraging. Because I know by that point he would have started trying to grow some of his own stuff to share. Because when he learns how to garden from Willow and Astrid, he wants to start growing more stuff. But I don't know if he would be feeling okay enough to go foraging after the protests begin. I mean, he might. It's just because he's just a dude in his moths. But I like to think... hard to say. Yeah. Because... I mean, it literally would be the case of just Telos mostly stays out of it. But then there's the fact of people, like, would see it's like, you have all these powerful warriors, and then you have this one person who raises moths. And why do I feel like would be funny is if Telos had anything to say about, the protests. Would look at a lot of them and say, you know, y'all take a lot of things for granted. Just saying. And it's because it's like, they usually don't think a lot about the good bugs do, which is, it is a fact. He would use bug facts to try to logic to the camp's way of staying. It says, like, some of us do more good things than just, you know, protect you from evil. You know, holds up one of his moths. Hint, hint. Just making sure y'all even have plants to begin with. But... He would definitely try to probably use farming and moths as an argument for, like, hey, a lot of us do more than you think. You know, lighten up. At least try to see the bigger picture, baby. But I know for the most part, otherwise, he'd just stay out of it. And he would try to actually get stuff together that he'd like to call... for better or worse sort of goodies, because even he says, hey, no matter what happens, I want you to have them because I want to say thank you for everything that you've done for me, because y'all didn't have to take me in, and y'all definitely didn't have to, you know, keep me this long. It's like, I mean, with how we joked at Zatar stealing thrown out items, he'd know of mortals taking things for granted. Yeah, that's all the more of why he'd say, y'all take a lot of things for granted, my guy. If anything, would be funny is if, he said Zatars end up upcycling a lot of stuff that they just throw out. And that stuff that they throw out tends to end up usually hurting the world around them, and the Zatars end up taking said items to keep that from happening for the most part. He would hit them with the vicious cycle. if he ever had to give input, I'm just like, hey, y'all can't say we mess up. You gotta look in the mirror first. And he's made of glass, so he'd know. Look in the looking glass, but not me. I'm not that kind. But it's still that fact. He'd make little goodies to say thank you for keeping me this long, because y'all didn't have to take me in. Because I've also thought about about writing what it was like when he first arrived at camp, or when he was first being taken in. Because yeah, when Fluffy gives him a tour, he's like all aloof, and he's like, yeah, sure, thanks, Jano. But because I've actually thought about if they probably had to like actually ease him into coming with them, because yeah, he was thinking about what's best for his moths, but Juno and them really had to ease him, like, hey, it's okay. like he was some scared gremlin in the woods. Actually, he was a scared gremlin in the woods. What am I talking about? He was just a scared gremlin in the woods at that point. But I mean, he'd come to terms of why he was stuck in the woods. He'd figure it out, and he'd feel bad, like even worse than he already did, and hence why, you know, in terms of like with his wings, hence why he couldn't go home the normal way. But it's still that simple fact. I mean, because that would be a good short fic probably to try it as a character exercise, like how he was. And with Har being the upcycling type, I now see that as a reason the Zatars would tolerate that. It's like, yes. Yes, like someone who thinks the same. Yeah, it could. Yeah, because Telos would go through all kinds of different stages of existence, like what there was in this, like the abyss, and then there comes in when they're stuck because they become afraid of people. They have only their moths. They are living around. I actually also don't know if, technically speaking, he actually would have like sticks and leaves like stuck on him. Like he clearly might have slept in a bush maybe an hour ago. Or crawled into one to go find some berries, like, because, like, I know some people will go really deep in bushes just to get berries that happen to be ripe. I know, because, like, a lot of, like, wild berry bushes grow around where I live, and people will be like, yoink. So, he probably definitely looks like he crawled around in somebody's lawn, for a fact, or at least out in the mud and whatnot. But I don't know if that meant they had to, like, I don't know if that meant, like, they eased him in, like, to the environment, like, by keeping him in what would be his cabin. Or if he stayed in the med tent for a while. Because I know they try to make sure, is he hurt? Or if there's anything else wrong. But, you know, aside from just being scared, you know, but I guess he's, like, from there, it helped them ease into, these are the faces you're going to be seeing for a long time now. You know, these are going to be his future friends. Because that's, I can't help but picture at those times, you know, he was terrified of strangers, and then he gets used to people again. But I wouldn't be surprised if for the longest time, or for quite a while, he actually doesn't trust people outside of the camp. And Sui ends up being one of the people he does come to see that, come to trust. But then the protest arc's like, this is why I wasn't sure about these people. I was like, wow, you look worse than me when I came to camp. Tell us, I came from the woods. And I came from the junkyard, but you're the dirty one here. You had a moth that needed a bath. He really needed one. Oh man, my brain went to the funniest thing. If they were at a lake and he was still like covered in sticks and stuff, and Soul just chuckstered him into the water. Just throw him in a lake. Like, here, get clean. I know you wouldn't do that. Sploosh. I know Soul wouldn't do that, but it's definitely the fact of like everyone be like, you look like you crawled out of somebody's lawn clippings. Dance, water, dance. Are you at that part, or is this just convenient to say dance, water, dance? Because like, just having him like get the butt off you. The second fight, well, good luck with that. But yeah, to me that's definitely a like a very fun sounding exercise to write, because it's like they're essentially having to tame this wild moth person that is the equivalent of a cat who's been living out feral in an alleyway for like the past couple of years. And that's another thing. How long? Yeah, back from dinner. Hi, Z. It was like we're talking about character exercises and Telos getting chucked in a pond. That's another thing. A very valid thing to raise, because I can see maybe that could be a mention in said exercise. How long do you think Telos would have been wandering around in the wild? Like, how long ago would it have been that he went foraging and found he couldn't go back home? Because I think that would have played a major part in it. Because I would think some people would say there's no way he could have been wandering around for more than maybe a few months, which would still do some damage to like social parameters and everything, how good someone is socially. Been thinking about, now you are the stars, give the council the middle finger and rebel. Z went missing during the Ash arc. I might... Yeah, and we count by months. So I'd have to count and see how long that would have been. That's gonna hurt my brain, but oh well. But I think we've seen plenty of stars and stuff who's like gone like, no. The consoles. Let's see, where is... Oh, we want equal treatment. Oh. I think we count by season. Yeah. Where is the Ash arc? Where is it? It would be the Corrupted Ash arc, if I'm remembering right. Trying to see... Cause yeah, it starts late winter. Yeah, thank God. I guess you beat him. So, late winter, which is... Yeah, oh, second. Also, the start of Ash's redemption. Yes, no wait. That's Demix. That's about Demix, yes. So... Because if it's the Corrupted Art and then... Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, because I guess... Because if that's the case, then from late winter to early spring, he's been alone, which I know is a couple months. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So... But yeah, that would still mean he was out alone for months. So yeah, he definitely would be, like, nerves shot and everything, because he'd be afraid for his life that entire time. So yeah, it's like, cause yeah, if it's early spring, and then spring's when the breakout happens, and that's when essentially they find, you know, poor Moth Boy, you know, alone in the woods, because what I've seen is because like some people says like he wandered into camp. I like to think possibly in terms of wandering into camp, he wandered into the woods, into the forest maze, and they found him there because he was like close to camp, but he was like afraid, you know, trying to avoid the place probably if he knew about it. But then they bring him in. He's gonna tell us, what is wrong with your stars? With your stars, they're like demons of Zill. Because they are. And then Z pops into camp and doesn't remember anything. Yeah, essentially. Talos remembers all kinds of things. I like to think, even before, you know, like saying to him, hey, you know, by the way, was that Talos actually gave Z a lot of the long and regaling stories. My frames just dropped like heck. What just happened? I got that many little pods, so then that wouldn't happen. There it goes again. You're a terrible pair, Lucille. I'm a king. Oh my boy. That is something, though. Like, because my frames just dropped twice. I don't even know what happened. Like, I got that little X5 pod because Xfinity gives them for people for free. If it's like, oh, you've been with us long enough. Here, have a thing for free if your house would benefit from it, and my house would benefit from it. Yeah, and yet it wants to work only when it wants to. I don't even have a proper light on with it. I don't know what its deal is, but my thing says it is connected. So, oh well. Don't mess with the cheese versus stars. They will tear you to shreds. And my guess is Talos and all this is just making preserves. The cheese verse. I can see that's all Talos is doing, is just making preserves. He has better things to do than deal with drama. Oh boy. It's still that case in point fact. You know what? There we go. Because then I have, like, something to try writing, like, later, because I do want to try to write later. I'm in a writing mood now, yay! First time I've been in one since I've been, messing around with tweaking out with, not tweaking out, but tweaking and fixing. It's not tempered glass, it's one where Talos got punched by Tala because Talos deserved it. Yeah, there's the Abyss, and then there's Spectre, who is the Abyss. I actually did think of something funny, and it was like, it was a Zatar just sitting there, like, on a pillow or, like, a rug, and no one sees them, and they're like, hey dude, where'd you go? And then they turn on a light, and it's like, manifest. The Zatars, in my mind, could tear you to shreds, but they keep mortals alive to feast on misery, and take their discarded couches and other furniture. It's like, I mean, you don't want it. May as well have it. Because... yeah, that too. Yeah. Now I'm just imagining there's a Zatar somewhere who made off with somebody's filing cabinet. And they're like how my brother was at one point. He didn't have anything better to store in it. So he just had cans of chili that he meant to have as storm food. And he just opens it and it's just a nothing but a whole filing cabinet tray full of beans. Because why not? Inspector's body can manifest eyes. Just opens them like, who summoned me? Who said my name? Who said my name with a fear in their voice? So stay away from him if you don't like that. Telos is literally the guy who'd see him and go, hey dude, marmalade? I made it fresh from the oranges in my yard. That's another thing I thought of is just Telos growing crops. The Zatar has nickname related with the filed chili. Like something to do with beans for definite. It's like that one, just the videos where it's like, you know that feeling when the late night hits and all you have is a big old, craving for a can of peas. And it just opens random packages and just peas. Green peas. And I'm just I would see those and I'd sit there and I'm like, how did you reseal that package with nothing but peas? Because he opens them like they're fresh and then peas. But it's like, it still is a fact. Yeah, thank you. It's like, Telos is willing to hand out preserves to any of his friends, even if they're like the loosest form of friends. It's because he knows there's only so much he and his mods can eat. That's why he likes to share. He likes to share stuff a lot. But it's still that fact. Just don't look at his true form or you'll have a mixture of nightmares, fear, and terror. Telos calls that Tuesday. Relis, on the other hand, would call that terrifying. For definite. But, I need to fix my chair. Like, the cloth on my chair. I feel like one of the pins is coming loose that I used to secure the cloth. I might need to repin it. I honestly might. Not even surprised. Don't threaten Horror Sparkle with a good time. Yeah, don't you ever. It's like Horror's the one who points out, see, if they didn't do this wouldn't have happened. One of the best examples people pointed out is, I don't know if y'all have heard of the Analog series Via Carnus. I have yet to see the two newest episodes. Well, the other one's not too new, but there is a newer episode there, and I haven't seen the other one yet. But it involved an elder mimic, and the dude would have lived if he didn't turn on the stupid baby monitor. Because the monsters, they can communicate long distance through electromagnetics. They can. And radio signals. And he turns on the baby monitor. And it's like, well, now it knows you're here. It's just like, now all the mimics know you're here. But it was just the elder mimic in the area, so either way, he wasn't making it out. he wasn't. It was game over. It's still that fact. I mean, if anything, I think Telos could technically, because their mind is fractured into two individuals, they could technically look upon things like the void and not go crazy, or have nightmares, because his mind's already fractured. Just not in a necessarily bad way. I mean, he's anxiety riddled, clearly, but the things he learned to fear are more immediate things, like, people who have rotten attitudes. Just because that will rise his anxiety up some fears. But it's still that fact. Because yeah, with Telos, when it comes to his, when they first find him, I can imagine Z could look upon it as well. He is the Dark Star. He is, exactly. But, It's just a fact. My guess is Z would be kept in the med tent. Not Z, Telos would be kept in the med tent until he like became more used to people for the time being, or like to be spoken to. I'd say at least. Just otherwise, just literally afraid, but not even needing words to communicate he's scared. Because the people around him would understand. He's just afraid. He's just scared. Either way. Again, something to think about. Because, he's not shown his cabin. The cabin he'll be assigned to. Until Fluffy gives him a tour. But Esme may be able to visit him during his stay. I can see, most likely, the way they would put it is that as long as you don't, he's not oversensitized, maybe, people could come see him and introduce themselves, like, like, hey, how are you? What's your name? Do you even have a name? We'll give you one. Of course he has a name, but still. It's just the fact of, it's the fact that he'd be real sensitive and just nerve-wracked around people. So, it would definitely be a one person at a time, like, kind of thing. Like, maybe only a few people got to visit him per day to get him used to people. So, there is that. Yeah. Oh yeah, my action Darkle doesn't have a name yet. Wait, yes he does. I was literally thinking, name him a pun after Tom Cruise. See, that's so stupid. No, you're not. I'm the one with 1.5 brain cells here. But Tom Bond. I swear, since I can see that. I mean, in RPG they did have the line of, "Who do you think you are, Bruce Lee?" But I realized actually a very cool tragedy and a very cool Spark Cruise is a much better name. Yeah. But a really cool play idea between Drama and Mighty would probably be a rendition of War of the Worlds. I realize that. Yeah, then the one I have. But yeah, just Telos meeting people at first, and it's just people, yeah, I was being silly on purpose. I think we're all silly on purpose. It's just better that way. It's silly with a purpose. Wait, I mentioned my mom about, like, because sometimes she makes custom shirts for me and my brother. And they're, like, little funny ones. That would be a very perfect one, silly on purpose. Like, just have one that says, "The silly goose is loose." It's me. I'm the goose. But it's still that fact. Because the more I think about it is that because Telos would have been, the way he was at first, I know you could easily make the joke that you'd have to, like, give him treats out of your hand. Just, like, hold out, like, because he eats flowers. Hold out, like, a dandelion or something, like, going, "Hey, you want a snack?" And it helps win him over. Because, I mean, who doesn't like snacks? But again, it's just the fact of, like, I know people, like, they would say only, like, a person could visit him at a time, and there was, like, hours between each visit. So then people could come see him and help get him used to people. So many different faces. Oh, I could make the action based on Travis Touchdown. I don't think I've ever heard of Travis Touchdown. Can the moths have rows? Because Esme would bring those. I think I've looked it up before. Let me double check. Because I did make a joke about Telos drinking rose tea. yes, some moths are attracted to roses, like, but other plants are often preferred the most by moths because, like, they love the nectar and everything, and some use them as host plants. Because that's one of the rules with Telos. If they don't use it for nectar, then depending on if he can eat it, then if they use it as a host plant, he can eat it, and that's why a lot of his allergies that he would tell Sui about in terms of food are based on literal things that are iffy, because either some moths use it as host plants, like pantry moths are like the biggest go-getters in terms of can he eat anything of that sort, because he can have allspice, but he can't have cinnamon. And I know some people would say that makes no sense. It's because moths actually do not like cinnamon, but they're okay with allspice. But yeah, they can have roses. So yes to roses, yeah. And I remember in one of them, like, yeah, when talking to Gino about when he flexes his wing too far in which one was it? Surface pressure. That was the one, cuz I know I am almost done fixing the lore based aspect of it. Cuz I know I was fixing it like out the wazoo. I am just stuck at the part of like Telos actually getting in the fight with Tala, because he basically says to her, you know, hey, if you got a big problem, then come say it to my face. Which to me is like, Telos, you could have said, hey, I'm sorry for disturbing you, but no, you had to be gutsy. Cause basically his Zatar irritation came out, and he was like, hey, yo, you know what? Of course, at the time, he was afraid of being found out as a Zatar. And then everyone was like, we know. We had an idea. But when Gina was like, hey, are you okay? You know, you're gonna be fine. Telos actually says, oh yeah, some rose tea or rose blooms. And then it's like, you know, that'll help, because it turns out roses actually help with inflammation and pain. So it's like, yeah, Telos would like roses, especially in terms of pain, because I thought about his wings actually causing him pain now and then, even when he's not in his moth form. Just sometimes he gets sore. What if I gave the action thief 2 Darkles? The action Darkla. That just made me think of, like, what if one was Batman? Drama had a hand in writing the first half, the rest is all action. Yeah, Batman. I wonder who's Robin. That would be so cool, though, actually. Just a thief in a Batman costume. And then it's like, if it was like a play for Mighty, it's the Justice League. But the 2 Darklas, I'm wondering, in terms of the action thief, what would be the 2 Darkles? Hard Robin, G action, how come you get to have 2 Darkle dolls? I was like, in terms of action, I've already just thought about, like, a sidekick, and then another character that would help the main hero. That's the end of the playlist. Let's pick another one. Let's do video game music for coping through the time warp. Let's do that one. But yeah, just like, yeah, looking at surface pressure, it's Telos is in the med tent recovering, and you know, those who come to visit him are there like, do you know how stupid you were? But also asking about, since when could you become some moth person? Like, you were already a moth-like person. You just grew wings, my guy. You know, Or the two are just standing there with their 3 kids and are gonna offer parenting help and advice. I mean, that'd definitely be the case. Like, because if you suddenly have 2 kiddos, handful. Especially if you have no parenting experience. Axon is reluctant to help at first. It takes a bit. But eventually, like, they'd say, you know what, I might need the help after all. Oh yeah, another thing, I definitely have been writing more into Talos' character. Whenever Talos is like, no, I'm fine. Mods call Cap. As we start singing Mothman parody of YMCA. Why do I feel like for Esme, whenever Talos ever calls her, that's her ringtone for if he calls her. Just Mothman. He's just like, shoulda known. But I was like, he wouldn't be mad either, because he actually likes good bug humor. He does. He actually likes good bug humor. Just never call him by a different bug. Just don't do that. Butterflies he'll let slide if you call him a butterfly, because it's like, you're close but no cigar. You know, wrong insect. But it's the fact you got him right. You know, kinda right. Talos calls her one time to find her phone in a place. Yeah, it's just, as I would see, he's not even mad. He's just looking at her, this big smile, and he just shakes his head. That kind of smile is just a shake of the head that you can only do with friends. It's like, just you. I should have known you'd do this. But yeah, I think I only had to worry about that piece of surface pressure, and then surface pressure would actually be fully rewritten. It's 16 pages right now. What have I done? Because I know I added more stuff to it. Right? Tell us as the song plays, it's under your bed. It's like, oh, there it is. That would actually be something very funny to write. Like, what are different camp members' ringtones for different people they know? Just to see how many people had the same brain cell when, like, yes, I want to know if that person's calling me by the same song. And it's like, how many of them end up being the same song out of coincidence? But, oh yeah, I will say for fact, because I do want to mention it for surface pressure, I did add bits and pieces of dialogue, aside from, of course, rewriting it, of course, but I added a moment that I felt would really up the ante in terms of Talos' fear of being found out as a Zatar at the time. And it was that essentially he, you know, he's had his moments of slip his power and everything, but he tries to play it off and everything. But Gino, he's like, I know I've seen this before and it makes too much sense. It all aligns too much. So he actually knows Talos is a Zatar probably not long after him joining. I've actually thought about possibly if maybe Gino knows or has an idea that he's a Zatar when first bringing him in, like during that time in the med tent, he has his suspicions, but it doesn't get confirmed till later. But Talos says, like, do you know you let a Zatar into this camp? And Gino's like, yes, I'm well aware. And what's funny is the fact he's like, look, Talos was normal-ish at first. Like, you can hear the air quotes he would use. He's like, it was normal at first, but clearly the normalcy, you know, clearly the normalcy would have worn off. So would Gino know Z as a Zatar? See, that's the funny part. I don't think Gino would know Z is a Zatar until it actually comes out as a surprise. But Talos keeps slipping. Like, his eyes change to red when he gets angry and when he gets afraid. And then there's the fact in his moth form, his eyes not only change to red, but as a reference to moths having false eyes on their wings, he actually has false eyes like on his cheeks and on his forehead. Like, instead of having full-on extra eyes like I used to give him. And it also looked way too cute too. I couldn't help it. But from there, Gino was like, yeah, they're not a star at all. Oh, so Z's too good of an actor. Telos is not the acting type, so yeah. Plus, Z would have more ability to say, don't lose your cool, don't let them figure it out. Plus, like, was Telos just having so many things just tied to his emotions, like the fractals of color that appear on his skin, like when he's, you know, like all lovey-dovey with Rune, when he's afraid, when he's nervous. That would further play into the fact of, like, it's hard for him to hide what he is. Especially, but it's mostly in the eyes, and then his power seems a little too dark. And from there, it's just a fact of people start piecing it together, but Gino finds out the fastest. And my frames dropped again. Jeez. Alright then. Alright, I see how it is. You know something? No one has made any sports-themed Star Zatar dolls. I think I've mostly just thought of, like, if any stars or Zatars I have would do sports as a hobby, and even then not many of them do sports. Wait, I don't think I've really seen many, if not any at all. I don't quite remember. So Z is only hidden from wearing sunglasses. I mean, why wouldn't he? But it's still that fact of, like, Z tries, I guess you could say, especially tried harder to hide what he was. I got spooked again. You might want to tone Ganondorf down a little bit there, Z. But the thing is that I see Gino didn't straight up go and say, hey, by the way, Telos. He didn't confront Telos with it. Instead, Telos opened up on his own because that's part of it. Especially when it's like with, like the first fic I wrote with him proper, he starts slowly opening up to people. And Gino knows if something bothers him, he'll come tell me. So odds are when he trusts me enough, he will come tell me. And Telos eventually does go and open up, and they all hit him with, we know. We know my guy. He's like, how did you know? And then gets the funny case in point of, well, you see. I mean, a Zatara casino owner would also be a fun idea since Mario Party's basically gambling. I mean, I can see Zatara's running a casino, especially like the Boo Casino in Sunshine. I know it's the hotel casino, but it's like there's so many boos. Like, just to me that'd be funny. It's just a Zatar, like instead of Boss Boo, it's a Zatar, and it's like, so what you betting? But yeah, that's one thing I've especially been going through is like Telos actually saying, like, who would he open up to first? I say that's a good question. Would it be Gino? Or would it be Esme and their other friends? Zatars is a gambling patron. They turn Uno into a gambling game. You have to place a bet on who gets Uno out first to win. None of them they do that. I feel like they'd also bet on who wins Connect 4. Because I feel like they would do some, yeah, they might, yeah. I think they'd settle some serious arguments through Uno and Connect 4 or like other games. Because it's like, there's no need to result this in violence. If we want to resolve this, like who wins the argument, let's just do this instead. Just in a way, it's especially because it's better than eeny, meeny, miny, you win. It's a bit more chance to it. Like, okay, who might win the argument? Plus, if anything, the fun of the game is it eases any tensions about the argument, to where it's like it fixes any anger or resolves any anger or tension, and it decides a winner in the argument, to where all's fair, all's fun. But but either way, it just makes me think just all the more like it just makes me think even more about like how when Telos does open up eventually and he says, hey, like, I'm actually a Zatar, I'm not a star, and people say we know, they get to call out like, here's how we knew, and he finds out how well they knew. how far they knew down that rabbit hole they were aware. But I know he'd for definite ask why didn't they say or do anything, and they say because you didn't show to be a bad guy, you were scared. If anything, you were too afraid. But then you showed you're definitely not a bad guy, you're actually pretty nice. The one game they don't play is Monopoly. I can see if anything they collect the Monopoly money for things. Like, I remember they once had a thing, a version of Monopoly that had essentially the paper money gun. And if anything, they use that for fun. Just like at parties. It's like a confetti popper, kind of. But it's something more fun to clean up than confetti. Did they not have that? Did they not have that? They did! The cash grab! They did! They did have that! Water gun fights, but paper money? Yeah! Yeah, I can see that's what they do. It was called cash grab. Like, my guess is that instead of playing the normal game, you actually threw the money and they had to grab it. That's my guess. I've only ever played normal Monopoly, but it's still a fact. I literally just couldn't help but roll my eyes at the one where it had like an online baking app for the game. Cause like it was an app for the game, but it mimicked the online baking app, and I'm like, look, I know people, youngins gotta learn how to do this, but come on. Can we not learn how to count money by hand anymore? Cause that's essentially how I learned, like, was through Monopoly. Actually, yeah, that'd be funny. Make custom prices on the venues and the properties, and you use the actual, like, kindergarten money counter. That would actually be very good to teach people, like, money counting, because you learn through the anger and the rage. But you learn how to do it. You learn how to count cash. That would actually be pretty good, I think. As rage-inducing as it would be. But, it still would be the case in point, knowing how to count exact change. It's still that fact, though, that, there's quite a few ideas I need to work out that, like, I do want to share. I just need to arrange how I want to share them. Because I think I could maybe do it tomorrow. Maybe, like, possibly, because I do want to try to write later. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, those are things I want to sort out. Like, again, where Rune and Hecate and them come in, because I know originally it was said that, Rillis and Hecate don't come in till the Glom arc, but again, stepping away from that. Like, because we wanted to focus on other stuff at first. But, again, Roaster probably would come in with, at the end of the protest arc. Because, again, it makes more sense. Like, come home, recover, meet sibling, teach him a thing or two, but Rosie's only able to learn more at the camp. And then there's the factor of, just again, how the camp meets Rune. I had a couple of ideas. And it was that either they go to Weapon World to try to save Esme and meet her, probably out with her people, like tending to her subjects and everything, like talking with them and everything, or I guess it could be Telos picked up by the scruff of the neck and brought to her, like, we found a thing outside. What do we do with it? It could be as simple as that. But I thought what would be interesting, possibly if it made sense, was Rune kind of felt like something was up and went to go investigate and accidentally ended up in Mario's world. And I gave her Smithy's shapeshifting ability, but she doesn't like using it very much. So she only uses it when she needs to, or to blend in. And from there, it's that fact of, like, she meets the camp and introduces who she is and says, I believe there is something suspicious going on that is of interest to both of us. Or at least finding out what the program is says like, then I think you might want to hear about this because I have some suspicions. But I'm a girl who doesn't like to jump the gun. Because Rune's a rather level-headed thinker. She's goofy, but, you know, in her own way, but she's actually very level-headed. Well, to a degree, definitely better than Smithy ever was. Definitely far better than Smithy was. But still, that'd be stuff I definitely want to add in, because it's stuff I've not thought about or mulled over proper, and yet I'd love to write about it, or at least write out an idea for how I can see it maybe working. But either way, it's still that fact of the matter of, like, because I know Hecate and Rillis will come into play on their own time, but it doesn't hurt to write about them. I know it doesn't. It's just because Hecate's looking for Amma, like, thought. What is your thought? But it's still that fact. Like, it's still stuff like it helps to, like, especially because sort out their character of, like, you know, how they are. Because Hecate's looking for Amma and prayers. I mentioned Hecate looking for his child, and it's like, thought and prayers. Zatar possessing an old mascot costume. Oh no. Tell me, are there animatronic components involved? I know FNAF 2 comes out soon, dude. I had to keep from swallowing wrong, I was still laughing. At least it isn't an animatronic. Don't take off the head or you'll see the void. I mean, yeah, but now I'm just imagining this is a Zatar possessing like an old Chuck E. Cheese costume or something. Yeah, I really think it depends on the mascot. What the mascot is. Oh man, if it was a Zatar that went to, who went to, the Mario Land or Donkey Kong Land, expansion at the Epic Islands in Universal, and it, I knew the rat was gonna kill us. Oh wait, even funnier thought, what you got? Because my thought was like, what if it possessed a mascot costume of, like Mario or Donkey Kong from the amusement parks? That would be funny. A star possessing a bobblehead. That just makes me wonder, would they keep their heads still? Like, at all? And even then, what kind of bobblehead is this? Like, is it the little cutesy solar powered ones? Or is it a different one that has nothing but a spring? That's one thing I wonder. The old-fashioned one. Ah, so it has a spring. I just realized if they tilt their head far enough in confusion or to look at something, you're just gonna see a spring that might freak people out. But that's part of the charm, I mean. Because yeah, like how else do they bob their head? But it's still the fact. Oh no, wait. What if they could extend their neck like Mac? And just literally say, hey, lunch is ready, and then just go back. I think there's a mythical creature like that, actually. I mean, Star Zatara possessing a Jack-in-the-Box. No. You don't know when they're going to jump out to add input. They don't even pop out at the end of the tune where it's like pop goes the weasel. Just it's like you get midway and just going, hey, how you doing? Just launch his head with the spring. What'd you say? That was essentially Mac in his fight. Like he launched his head at you, like, you know, snapping his mouth. There's a reason why that little gremlin broke Tellus's wings, even though Tellus did nothing to him. He's a gremlin. He's nothing but a massive gremlin. That's all Mac is. But either way, it's still that case in point fact. I definitely want to try writing the idea of like when Tellus is found and looks like he's been crawling around in somebody's garden, like after it rained. Because to me that feels like a very fun exercise, because it's like he meets different people and it's like, well, how did he get used to these people? Is Smithy with an odd bobblehead? It's like, these humans and their weird creations. It shall be of use to me. And it is just like, his siblings like, brother, why? Why must you do these things? But of course, wouldn't be a good weaponsmith if he didn't find his inspiration somewhere. Definitely wouldn't be. But, oh, I realized something. When getting to know Telos, like, first trying to ease him into having, understanding or being used to the company of people again, is if his moths revealed that they can kind of communicate for him. Yeah, back shy guys, no, they're shysters. Yeah. RPG Remake definitely said they are Smithy originals. Nothing more. I kept having the thought of Dolly doing small performances and monologues for Telos. like while getting them used to him, or like used to people, or just in general. Cause that's yeah. So just in general. Oh man, if Esme and Z did Who's on First? Oh, used to people, okay. But my brain just went down and I was like, if Z and Esme did Who's on First? Like, that's Riven's favorite skit from Albert and Costello. And it's still just a fact of like, he's the first, he's on second, and I don't care. What did you say? And I don't care. Oh, he's our shortstop. Yeah, Abba. He he's like, you summoned me? That's like, I have summoned him. But so I can see Esme especially does stuff like that to get him used to people again, because it's like, again, it's something like not just for entertainment, like, because it's like, who knows how bat crazy he's going, like just being in like a med tech room, but it's the fact of like, it's just that extended time that a performance and little monologue would have would definitely be an amount of time of like getting used to a new face. Who's Hete? You mean Hecate? Hecate's a star who he was like a grand wizard, but he is him, yeah. Hecate, he's a grand star wizard, like he's very ancient, nobody even knows how old he is. And he's very mysterious about his past. He says, oh, let the past be the past, let's focus on the now and the future. And he was Emma and Rillis's mentor. He was a father figure to them. They call him Dad because of it, because he was a father figure. And when Rillis and Emma eventually had their fight, of course he got mad at his son figure, Rillis, but he left to go find Emma, and no one had ever seen or heard from him since. So when Rillis eventually, goes down, he does spread word of like, hey, I'm looking for this guy. It's like, have y'all seen him? I don't know if he took up a host, but have you seen him? And then explains what Hecate acts like, just in case they might have met him at some point, because he doesn't know what he looks like. This being is talking my ear off, but they're very entertaining. I can't even begin to tell you how much the moths would just be huddled like Gilmore. Like, they would be, like, awestruck. Just, of the monologues and performances. They would. Because they've never seen anything like a proper play before. Like, they've seen TV. I know they have because of other Zatars. They've seen the TV. But they haven't seen anything like Esme doing a live performance. And they're all like, yay? Just count them interested. Their little eyes get a little bigger in interest. But it's been 3 hours. I've been thinking about another thing. What you been thinking of? It's been 3 hours. Let's find someone to raid, because I do want to try to write before and not stay up till midnight. Well, I might stay up till midnight anyways. What I'm talking about. What if Sephiroth got isekai'd into a star doll? Are we sure that's a good idea? But then what about Cloud? Is he gonna go follow him? Yeah, alright, this was nice convo. Thank you. Nope, memory loss shenanigans. Try to find the right person. Let's do Gone Glitchin'. They're doing it just chatting. Yeah, I had fun. I'm glad y'all had fun. Let's go give Gone Glitchin' a warm welcome. And I'll see y'all later, alright? Have a good night.